Hello pandas of the internet, my name is Panda-chan. I am a full-time artist-ish, a part-time cosplayer, and someone who is still moving. Honestly, my room looks like a bomb has dropped in here. It's so stressful, but that doesn't mean you guys don't get a video. And as an apology for missing last week, this one is extra long. Well, this took longer than a couple of days. I kinda lost track of an entire month, but I'm back! In today's video, we see that communicating the plot and themes of your game is pretty important if you want all your players to be on the same page. Before we get started, please subscribe if you like my content, and sit back, relax, and let's get into it. This RPG horror story was posted by CrusaderBot36, a paladin, a cleric, and a druid. TLDR at the end. This all started a few months back when I joined a campaign online. It was in one of those big D&D discords where you find games, and I decided this New World Civilization game looked promising. So did the other players. Speaking of which, me, Dragonborn Rogue, Paladin, Problem Player Human, Cleric, another Problem Player Elf, Druid, Mind Flayer Homebrew Race, DM didn't seem to know what we all wanted. The problem started off small. In Session 0, when Druid was introducing his character, Paladin and Cleric started making some passive-aggressive comments. Paladin and Cleric were both following the majority religion of the old world, trying to spread it to this new land. Druid, on the other hand, was a blind prophetic folk preacher from the New World who wandered around doing miracles and healing people, sort of the local wise man type. He asked if this would conflict with Paladin's and Cleric's goals, but DM said it wouldn't before they got a chance to answer. He asked them again later, and they said it didn't conflict with their goals. After this, session 1 to 5 went well. Paladin and Cleric kept trying to convert people, and they found moderate success. However, a lot of the locals kept sticking with the Druids, ceremonies, and prophecies. Now, one big reason is that Paladin and Cleric borderline refused to use their powers as examples. They said they wouldn't call upon God to do petty tasks, and only used them in combat and for like 2 pranks Cleric decided to pull. Druid, on the other hand, did massive rituals and ceremonies with the villagers and gave out blessings left and right. Paladin and Cleric also had some weird views on what the campaign was about. I was in it to settle my own town and maybe form a country if I could. Druid just wanted to have some fun and made a character he felt fit the setting. Paladin and Cleric seemed to have a different goal. They started talking about how frustrated they were that the savages weren't becoming civilized with them. Apparently, they thought the entire campaign was some sort of civilization mission. But none of this mattered until Session 8. In Session 8, we were finally arriving at the land I was supposed to settle, and Druid mentioned he might settle here with me. Me. Oh, why? Druid. It's near my old home, not to mention the... Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Rokamarifaluferen is right over here. Okay, I'm so sorry if this is an actual thing and if I butchered it, but that is way too long of a word for me to comfortably enunciate. I get stuck on now and then sometimes, so this is hard. I'm sorry. Gods above, I really hope this is a made-up word and I'm not butchering an actual language. Now, the Rokamawafraloforen is a really big holy site to the Druids' folk religion. Okay, it is. It is literally a really big rock pillar in the woods. Cleric and paladin are starting to get agitated. They keep insisting the DM was playing favorites, despite the fact that they had converted around 80% of the NPCs we've met. They insisted that Druid was intentionally encouraging people not to convert with his devil magic, even though he had been chill with the conversions this whole time. So Cleric decides she is going to get some well-earned holy vengeance. So, while me and Druid start building our house, Paladin and Cleric just stand glaring at us. Cleric then sneaks off to the Rockamawafraloforen. When Paladin follows her, I notice and follow them. So Druid follows me. We all arrive at the Rockamawafraloforen, and Cleric decides she is going to desecrate it. Not cool. Druid warns her if she does that, he will kill her. I say that I agree with my shaman. I converted in session 7 after Cleric refused to help dehydrated children who weren't of her religion, and Druid summoned a rain to end the 30-year drought. And Paladin says he will protect the Cleric. DM is super hyped and is eager to see how we resolve this. Cleric pisses on the big rock, and Druid immediately starts slinging spells while I start stabbing. Paladin charges us, screaming with his sword raised, and combat ensues. Me and Druid eventually win, but DM is mad. DM starts yelling at us about how we ruined his big reveal and derailed the campaign. And Cleric and Paladin are surprised that we actually killed them. So it turns out DM had a whole plot line of me and Druid realizing that our religion is fake and we need to convert to Paladin and Cleric's religion. Paladin and Cleric were told this before session 0. They were friends with DM IRL apparently, and were acting how he told them. It turns out they wanted to play their characters nicer, but DM said it would derail the game. At this point, when everything is laid out, Druid and I start arguing back that we were never told this and he should have made this apparent. Then Paladin says, "Wait, you didn't tell them?" Now Paladin and Cleric are also arguing with DM because he was supposed to tell everyone this in session 0. After about an hour of everyone arguing, Druid leaves. This ripple effects and everyone leaves. I have not heard from Paladin or DM since, but I did play a different game with Druid and Cleric. It was a lot more fun. TLDR, DM makes a campaign centered around converting locals to a different religion, doesn't tell half of the players, proceeds to blame all the players when it descends into PvP. Edit. So apparently the correct term for this theme would be settler campaign or New World campaign, according to the people I've asked, since colonism immediately makes people think of racism and stuff, which was in this campaign, but I guess the semantics I said were off for all other games of this theme I have played. Sorry. Aside from the icky feeling I got from the whole premise of converting people to a different religion and colonizing an already inhabited land, I do feel like exploring an uncharted land would be a fun concept to play, and the premise of building a town in the environment would be fun too. I have to say that the goal should be set in the beginning of the campaign and known by all the players. Otherwise, the story is a clear example of what happens. Every player is confused and upset at the others for not following and playing into the obvious plot. I'm glad the OP stayed in touch and played some more games with some of the players and didn't let a bad experience linger. And I hope that everyone involved found better suited tables, as I always hope for them. I do hope you enjoyed, and again, I'm so sorry for being absent for so long. Hopefully the videos will be back on a weekly basis now. With that, we have come to the end of the horror story. Like, subscribe, and in the comments tell me, what character would you make for exploring a new and uncharted world? I think I would make a cook who would be trying to find new ingredients, and upon meeting locals would probably try to learn as many new recipes as they can. The link to the original story is in the description. You can find my social media links down there as well. And with all of that being said, I will see you next time.